Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody to our Saturday Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Shravana session. So last week we finished the beautiful Canto 1, Chapter 1, Verse 1. So today we're going to proceed further. Just one. Okay, I'm just sharing my screen. Okay. So this is the second verse. So like I said, first three verses are the Mangalacharan of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So the first one glorifies Krishna. Second one actually glorifies Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. The beautiful verse. Okay, by the way, so I wanted to check. Are all devotees comfortable reading the shlokas? Does anybody have any difficulty reading shlokas? See, because some of course, Bhagavad Gita shlokas are relatively simpler, Anustup Chandas, it is simple, but Bhagavatam, long verses, there are more long verses. So if devotees are comfortable, then it is nice. Otherwise, we can try to take out maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes every session, or maybe between Saturday and Sunday, maybe, maybe in Sunday class, something we can do to just do some practice. So let me know by the end of the session if you need any help with shloka recitation. Okay, because actually some of these verses are so beautiful that if we chant, then we will actually relish the rasa of Bhagavatam. It is good practice. Okay. Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam Śrīmad Bhāgavate Mahamuni krute kim va parerishvara Sadyo hrudyavarudyate trakritivi shushushubistatchanat. So here this verse is saying Dharma projita kaitava. So Prabhupada is translating this as rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. Projita is rejected. Kaitava. Kaitava means covered by fruitive intention. So dharma, which is normally known, whatever we understand as dharma, what is the intent of that dharma, of dharmic activities, is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Chaturvida phala purushartha siddhyartham. You do any puja at home. You call any pandit from anywhere in India. He will state this, saying, why are you doing this puja? Chaturvida phala purushartha siddhyartham. And so this Chaturvida phala purushartha Bhagavatam is rejecting. So please understand, this is glorifying Bhagavatam. So it is saying what is Bhagavatam What is the focus of Bhagavatam? Who should read Bhagavatam? When we are reading Bhagavatam, what should we do about our dharma, artha, kama? Moksha, to anyway, I mean, most people are not even aware, not even bothered about moksha. Dharma, artha, kama. So Bhagavatam is saying completely rejecting all these are religious activities, but these religious activities are materially motivated. So Bhagavatam rejects, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. The Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth, meaning it establishes the highest truth. So Parama Satya, highest truth means Parama Satya, meaning there is no other truth above this truth. And what is that Parama Satya? Krishna. So Bhagavata Purana establishes Krishna's position. And who can understand this Bhagavata Purana? Understand by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. And now what is our situation? How do we enter into Bhagavatam now? Because this is actually telling what is who can understand Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Actually, we can understand Bhagavatam only when we are fully pure, not partially pure. Fully pure in heart. What does fully pure means? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, all of them are gone. We have literally no material affiliation, nothing to do with this material world. Only those devotees can understand. Only those devotees can understand Bhagavatam. And here the highest truth, actually here there's one more thing actually. Yeah, Nirmat Saranam. So that fully pure Prabhupada actually explains in the purport, actually means no Matsara, no envy. Towards whom? No envy towards any other living entities, no envy towards Krishna also. So we'll discuss this. What does envy towards Krishna mean? So understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart, who don't have any Matsara, no envy. And what is this highest truth? The highest truth is reality. The highest truth is reality. And it is distinguished from illusion. So the Paramasatya is reality. The Tatkalika or temporary truth, the temporary truth of this material world is illusion. It is truth, but it is illusion. So Bhagavata, the highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all, and that is what Bhagavata Purana propounds. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. Which truth? The highest truth uproots threefold miseries. That Krishna has already said in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vrajam tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Threefold miseries. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika, Klesha. So this highest truth uproots all these threefold miseries. And so beautifully says this. I'm just muting, sorry. Okay, this beautiful Bhagavatam, Śrīmad. What is the meaning of Śrīmad? Śrīmad means beautiful. That's why we also say Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita, because Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita is also beautiful, but Bhagavatam is even more beautiful because Bhagavatam actually gives us more connection with Krishna, while Bhagavad Gita gives us Sambandha Jnana. It says who we are, why we are here, how do we understand our position, Krishna's position. It gives us Sambandha Jnana. But actually Bhagavatam gives us Abhideya. How do we actually now develop this relationship with Krishna? So there is Jnana also, Sambandha Jnana is also enhanced, but then it also is the process of Abhideya, because it is Shravanam, which is part of devotional service, and Shravanam about Krishna. Beautiful Bhagavatam. It is beautiful. Why it is beautiful? Because 10th canto, we will hear Krishna. We will see Krishna in 10 pages of 10th canto. So it's beautiful. Compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity. Maturity means that he was not a neophyte. He was not a sadhaka bhakta. He had attained perfection in the whole transcendental, journey of self-realization. He had achieved perfection, but he had left out something, which was his incompleteness, right? Which is what Narada Muni will come and tell later. So in his maturity, he is sufficient in itself for God realization. So we don't have to read anything else. That is why Prabhupada said lifelong. How many times should we read Bhagavatam? Huh? How many times we should read Bhagavatam? Mataji here is saying every day. How many times? Can somebody answer this? How many times should we read Bhagavatam? Till we are alive. Till we are alive, we should read Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Why? Because it is sufficient in itself for God realization. So we can realize Krishna. And what does realization mean? Experience. So in spiritual terminology, there is Jnana and Vijnana. So this is Vijnana. Jnana means realize means experiencing, not just theoretical knowledge. That is possible with Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one, please focus on this, attentively and submissively hears. Attentively understandable, because any subject we have to hear attentively, but here more importantly submissively. If we come enter into Bhagavatam with the spirit of I know it, or I am intelligent, I will crack this Bhagavatam, I've cracked so many exams. We have to submissively hear. Because first of all, if we don't give up our false ego, there is no question of entering into Bhagavatam. So one has to submissively hear the message of Bhagavatam. By this culture of knowledge, Supreme Lord is established within his heart. Sadhyo, sadhya means immediately, very soon. Sadhya at once, sadhya hrudya avarudhyate. Trakrutibihi shubhis tat kshanat, without delay. So this is the beauty of Bhagavatam. That is why we say Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. We will come to the stage of Nishtha in Bhakti. We'll discuss all this. So this is the glory of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We should understand that it is so glorious that it will literally deliver Krishna to us. Deliver in the sense what? By the Shravana process, Krishna he gives himself to the devotee. So Lord becomes established within the heart. So this is a very powerful process, very powerful process. So for us in Kali Yuga, Shravanam, so we say Shravanam Kirtanam. So we say chanting. Yes, Prabhupada said 95% of our progress happens in chanting. But our problem is that our desire, Nam Nam Akari Bodha Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Nimatya Smaranena Kalha Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durtaivam Idrisham Ihajani Nanuraka. Durtaivam. It is our misfortune. Iha jani nano ragaha. We don't have attachment to the chanting of holy name. And then we are doing offenses. Nama parada. So realizing the perfection, the Bhagavatam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra can give us realization of Krishna, but for that we have to chant purely. Now, till we come to the platform of chanting purely, or to help us come to the platform of chanting purely, Bhagavatam is the medicine. Because when we are doing Shravanam, when we are hearing Bhagavatam, our mind is not going here or there. Right now, 15 minutes we've been hearing. How many people's minds are here, there, scattered everywhere, not focusing on the subject matter? Mostly all of us will be hooked on to, if we are serious about Shravanam, and then our mind is not going here, there. Mind is very fixed on hearing what is being spoken. But when we are doing chanting with the first nama, mind is gone with the wind, right? But now mind is not going anywhere. It's fixed. So this Shravanam will enable us to actually subsequently come to the platform of Nama, Ruchi, and then inoffensive, pure chanting. So that is why Bhagavatam is super powerful. I want one secret for everybody. If somebody wants to very quickly make progress, very quickly you want to make progress, you know what we should do? Just read Bhagavatam for 4 hours a day. But then don't blame me. What happens after that, don't come and tell me. That is your lookout. Okay. But if you read Bhagavatam for 3-4 hours a day, it has tremendous impact. It has tremendous impact. So it's very, very powerful. It is Vijnana. You can experience it. If you do this, you will experience it. But of course, we might not have 3-4 hours a day to read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, but I'm just saying that it's extremely powerful. Okay, purport. So we're going to read this and the next purport, because these 3 verses, Mangalacharan, purports, are super, and they're actually giving us a very clear way to enter Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Okay, while I might have just spoken about some of these, but Prabhupada's purports are invaluable. Religion includes 4 primary subjects, namely pious activities, economic development, satisfaction of senses, liberation, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Irreligious life is barbarous condition, which is what this whole material world is all about. It's about this irreligious life, which is barbarous. Like, barbarous is not connected to human beings, like animals, subhumans, like that, right? Barbaric is uncultured, right? So this is not for cultured human beings, irreligious life. Human life begins when religion begins. That is why ahara, so Prabhupada, that is what he's saying. Ahara, nidra, bhayamaitunam cha, samanyam etat pashubhina ranam, dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho, dharmena hina pashubhi samana. So dharmena hina pashubhi. So, but with dharma, he becomes manusha. These are common both to animals and to human beings, but religion is the extra function. Without religion, human life is no better than animal life. Therefore, in human societies, there is some form of religion. What is the aim of religion? Religion has to aim at self-realization. This is what all religions don't do. Include, take it Hinduism, Islam, Christianity. Nobody aims at self-realization. Everybody aims at material benefits. So that is why Bhagavatam is saying this is dharma projita. Projita dharma, that is. That dharma which doesn't focus on aim at self-realization, but focuses on better material condition, etc., is projita dharma. Projita religion, cheating religion, which makes a reference to man's eternal relationship with God. That is why Prabhupada said, you follow any religion you want. You should learn to love God. Then you follow any religion you want to follow. In the lower stages of human civilization, there's always competition. So please note, this paragraph is extremely powerful. He's saying lower stages of human civilization, there is always competition to lord it over material nature. Or in other words, there is continuous rivalry to satisfy the senses. So this continuous rivalry to satisfy senses, it's a lower stage of human civilization. So when somebody is in this lower stage, which means that they are very much attached to sense gratification, then what happens? Driven by such consciousness, what is the consciousness? I want sense gratification. Man turns to religion. So why do people come to religion? Because they want sense gratification, which is after dharma, artha, and then kama. But actually their intention is kama. Artha is required, because without artha in Kali Yuga, there is no kama. He thus performs pious activities, dharma, in order to gain something material. This is the whole intention of religions. But if such material gains are obtainable in other ways, then this so-called religion is neglected. This is the situation in modern civilization. Man is thriving economically. Really, I mean, the amount of money that this generation has. My father didn't see so much money all his life that I saw possibly in 2-3 years of my career. Right? So man is thriving economically. So at present, he's not very interested in religion. Why? Because he wants kama. For kama, he wants artha. Artha is he's getting money in other way. So why come to religion? Why bother? Prabhupada is saying, churches, mosques, or temples are now practically vacant. Men are more interested in factories, shops, and cinemas than in religious places which were erected by their forefathers. Practically proves that religion is performed for economic gains. See, actually, if somebody thinks that they're very intelligent, they can be very logical in their argument. Try to beat Prabhupada. I mean, some places his logic, the way he puts across logic is just impeccable. It's just perfect. Can anybody find any hole in this? Religion is performed for economic gains. So there is no religion which is worth accepting in this world. Right? Economic gains are needed for sense gratification. Often when one is baffled in the pursuit of sense gratification, he takes to salvation, jnani. Oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. I didn't get anything. Okay, let me give it up. I will sacrifice something which I don't have or which I couldn't get. And so this is frustration in material life. leads on to the path of jnana. And then what does he do? But in jnana path also he wants sense gratification. So then he tries to become one with the Supreme Lord. Now he gave up material pursuits, material small choto moto, ye sab choto moto, chodo isko. Let me now get Supreme Lord only. I didn't get anything in this material world. It's okay. Now I will aim for the topmost. I will aim for merging into Supreme Lord. Continuation of material pursuit. Why material? Because nobody is going to get that, right? So whoever gets Brahman, merges into Brahman, then Bhagavatam says subsequently falls down because there's no seva, there is nothing there. So he doesn't actually really achieve anything. He goes till the border of Vaikuntha, the Vaikuntha sky, and then he falls down. So what is the use of all this endeavor? Consequently, all these states are simply different types of sense gratification. Karmi, Gnani, Yogi, everybody is sense gratification. What says this in Bhagavad? Okay. In the Vedas, the above mentioned 4 activities are prescribed in the regulative way so that there will not be any undue competition for sense gratification. See, so this is so nice. See, there is no undue competition, which means what? That what is this Vedas? Basically, Varnashrama. Right, in Varnashrama, everybody has their own Varna and associated karma. So they work according to the given Varna. So Purusha Dharma, Stri Dharma, and then Purusha Dharma based on whether person is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, he will simply engage in his karma, Naimittika karma, this is called. So there is no competition. Now it's not like 2 Brahmanas are competing with each other saying that how much money am I hoarding? How much money am I collecting? No. Kshatriyas are not competing with each other. Vaishyas are not competing with each other. They're all working for the common interest of the society. So if somebody follows the Varnashrama system, people will actually become extremely peaceful because there is no undue competition. But here Prabhupada is saying Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is transcendental to all the sense gratificatory activities. It is purely transcendental literature which can be understood only by the pure devotees of the Lord who are transcendental to competitive sense gratification. As practicing devotees, we should also not get stuck in this sense gratification. And not just simple sense gratification, competitive sense gratification. Competitive means, oh, he's getting so much, I will make more. He's getting comparing with somebody else and saying, okay, this devotee is getting more, I'll also get more. This is competitive sense gratification. But this is purely transcendental literature. It can be understood only by the pure devotees who are transcendental to competitive sense gratification. So that means that they're not engaged in sense gratification and competitive sense gratification. In the material world, there is keen competition between animal and animal, man and man, community and community, nation and nation. But the devotees of the Lord rise above such competitions. They do not compete with the materialist. Prabhupada's purports are like really life-changing. We should just, focus on look at each and every statement. Life-changing. We should not compete with the materialist. Many people ask, what should we do? Should I, so much of competition at work, my colleagues are all getting promoted, I'm not getting promoted, I have to do so much work. So what are we doing? Competing with the materialist. So we should not, that is why, working, especially in this Kali Yuga, in a corporate setup, business is still okay. At least you can control whether you want to make, how much profit you want to make, you can decide. But workplace, there is, of course, even in business, there's undue pressure from peers, family, friends, etc. Of course, same thing is there even in workplace. No, pressure might be from boss, from peers, etc. And what do devotees end up doing? Devotees also end up competing with materialists. Prabhupada is saying, devotees of the Lord rise above these competitions. They do not compete with the materialists. Because, why? They are on the path back to Godhead, where life is eternal and blissful. So we should understand this. such statements I copy and paste into my notes. They're on the path back to Godhead. So those who are on the path back to Godhead, they will not compete with materialists. Those who want one leg here, one leg there, okay, I want one leg in spirituality, one leg in material, they will compete with the materialist. Now, having said this, some people will have real requirements that they have, responsibilities. Okay, internet is gone. So, they have responsibilities, they have to take care of things, etc. They might have to work hard to earn money, etc. Yeah, I mean, these life situations will be there, but this cannot be forever, right? This cannot be forever. So they do not compete with the materialists. Such transcendentalists are non-envious and pure in heart. So transcendentalists are non-envious and pure in heart. In the material world, everyone is envious of everyone, and therefore there is competition. Envious means he has this, why should I also not have? This is envy. So there is competition. But the transcendental devotees are not only free from material envy, but are well-wishers to everyone, and they strive to establish a competition-less society with God in the center. So this is what we should strive to do. We should be free from material envy. And because we are well-wishers of everyone, we should become well-wishers of everyone. And so Kartik Maas is starting from tomorrow. Let us please become well-wishers to everyone. Let us give everybody this opportunity to offer Damodar, Deep, offer Deepa to Damodar. So let us become well-wishers to everyone. And then we should strive to establish a competition-less society with Krishna in the center. So, and this is not possible. This is why these, devotee communities are required. Otherwise, how will we establish this? Can't establish this in the middle of, city life. Actually, the Madhva Sampradaya is very interesting. Actually, what they did was wherever they came together, bunch of devotees came together, they all settled, in around a particular area, all devotees in one area. And then they continued, carried on with their, services and way of life, etc. But unfortunately, in ISKCON, it has not been possible to do this kind of community because, ISKCON came up only in the recent past, right? So, so it's very difficult to actually be in society and create a competition in the society. What is saying? Second verse of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, please note. The contemporary socialist conception of a competition-less society is artificial because in the socialist, state, there is competition for the post of dictator. From the point of view of the Vedas or from the point of view of common human activity, sense gratification is the basis of material life. There are three paths mentioned in the Vedas. One involves fruitive activities to go to better planets. Another involves worshipping different demigods for promotion to the planets of demigods. And another involves realizing the absolute truth and his impersonal feature and becoming one with him. Okay, Prabhupada is just saying there are various options. The impersonal aspect of the absolute truth is not the highest. Above the impersonal feature is the Paramatma feature. And above this is the personal feature of the absolute truth or Bhagavan. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam gives information about the absolute truth in his personal feature. It is higher than impersonalist literatures and higher than Jnana Kanda division of the Vedas. It is even higher than the Karma Kanda and even higher than the Upasana Kanda. Because it recommends the worship of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. See, Upasana Kanda gives us idea about all types of Upasana, worship. Mostly like demigods, their position and worshipping them for achieving this, that and all that. But this is beyond all that because it recommends worship of Krishna. In the Karma Kanda, there is competition to reach heavenly planets or for better sense gratification. And there is similar competition in Jnana and Upasana Kanda. Bhagavatam is superior to all these because it aims at the supreme truth, which is the substance or the root of all categories. Meaning everything comes from supreme truth, Krishna. So Upasana Kanda is, so Vedas have three parts, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. Upasana is for worship. Basically, it is worshipping higher personalities, mainly demigods. But it also has Vishnu worship. But in Vishnu worship also there is a worship like treating Vishnu as just as one of the demigods. So all kinds of things are there in Upasana Kanda. But finally, it comes to worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But that requires a lot of purity, because when we go into Vedas, we get stuck with so many of these things. We cannot figure out what is right, what is wrong, which is the process. So that is why we give up all these Vedas and we come directly to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. From Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, one can come to know the substance as well as the categories. The substance is the absolute truth, and all emanations are relative forms of energy. Nothing is apart from the substance, but at the same time, the energies are different from the substance. So Prabhupada is saying Achintya Beda Beda, like Krishna. This conception is not contradictory. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam explicitly promulgates this simultaneous one and different philosophy, Achintya Beda Beda of the Vedanta Sutra, which begins with the Janmadhyasyata. So basically, he is here saying that everything is belonging to, everything is the Supreme Lord, but also different. Because everything comes from him, it is not different from Krishna. But because it is his energy, it is different from him, and he is separate entity existing separately. So this is Achintya Beda Beda. We will hear more about this in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. This knowledge that the energy of the Lord is simultaneously one with and different from the Lord is answer to the mental speculators' attempt to establish the energy as the absolute. So mental speculators, they say that Shakti is supreme, but then personalists say that Shaktiman is supreme. How can Shakti exist without Shaktiman? Shaktiman is the person who possesses the Shakti. So this is very important, that we should understand the difference. Development of this transcendental consciousness grounded in the conception of simultaneously one and different leads one immediately to the stage of freedom from threefold misery. So when somebody understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is free from all miseries. That Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. Threefold miseries are Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam begins with the surrender of the devotee. So that is why Bhagavad Gita ends with Sarvadharman Parityaja. Bhagavatam begins in that mood. The devotee is fully aware that he is one with the absolute, and at the same time, he is in the eternal position of servant. The material conception, one falsely thinks himself Lord of all his service. Therefore, he is always troubled by threefold miseries. So we should understand the reason we are struggling in this material life is because we are trying to be envious of Krishna. What does envy of Krishna mean? Envy of Krishna means that we are trying to, why Krishna must be the only enjoyer? I also have to become enjoyer, right? So we are competing with Krishna because Krishna is the only Purusha, only enjoyer. But in this material world, whether we are Purusha or Stri, that is just external nomenclature, right? But all of us, everybody is trying to become an enjoyer. So we are competing with Krishna. This is envy of Krishna. Why only one single enjoyer? Why only Krishna has to enjoy? I also want to compete with Krishna. So because of this competition with Krishna, envy towards Krishna is why we are stuck, why we are struggling with threefold miseries because of this. So Prabhupada is saying, as soon as one comes to know his real position, no, I am not competing with Krishna. I am Krishna's servant. He at once becomes free from all miseries, because then he stops his competing mentality, just becomes the servant, fixes his life and perfects his life. So as long as the living entity is trying to master material nature, there's no possibility of his becoming servant. These are the statements we have to meditate on. As long as the living entity is trying to master material nature, we are trying to become masters in this material world. I am the boss. Everybody needs to listen to me. Everybody needs to do the way I say. How can we become servant? And that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Trinadapi sunitena, tarorapi saishrana, mani namanadena, kirtanya sadhari. So we should stop becoming masters. Actually, it's a very conscious effort we have to put, because it is natural for us to become masters. How much natural? If we can't master it, so somebody wants to master the whole world, then they'll say, okay, no, whole world is difficult. Let me master this country. Let me become the master of this country. Okay, country is difficult, state is difficult, city is difficult, area is difficult, one street is difficult, my house is difficult, my kitchen or my work. So somehow we want to establish put our flag. This is me. So this is master, trying to become a master. Now, till we have this mood, I'm saying till we have in our mind, till we think of anything as mine, we are remaining masters. When we come to the state of thinking everything is Krishna's, then we are slowly starting to become servant. So service to the Lord is rendered in pure consciousness of one's spiritual identity. By service, one is immediately free from material encumbrances. So by service means what? Service in the mood of a servant, not service with, anger, frustration, envy, or somebody just saying, so let me do it. Otherwise, they will not they'll, get behind my case. So let me just do it. Not like this. Service rendered in pure consciousness of one's spiritual identity. What is one's pure consciousness? That I am sevak. So service has to be rendered in this mode, saying that I am the servant. Then one becomes free from material encumbrance. So the consciousness, that is why it is called Krishna consciousness. What is important is the consciousness. That is why we keep discussing, saying that even if we engage 24 hours in bhakti, if our conscious is not in what we are doing, we will not make progress. But somebody might be engaged in just for 1, 2, 3 hours in a day, but his consciousness is pakka in whatever he or she is doing, they'll make tremendous progress. It is the consciousness which is very, very, very important. It has to be pure in the state of thinking, I am servant of Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually writes Sharanagati, a series of poems, songs, beautiful. Sharanagati, on Sharanagati. In that he says that, we discussed this in 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In the Sharanagati words, Anukulisya Sankalpa Pratikulisya Varjanam Rakshishati Ti Vishwaso Goptrutve Varnam Tata Atma Nikshepa Karpanyo Shadvida Sharanagati. So the Atma Nikshepa, Atma Nivedana, thinking that I am the servant of this house, I am the servant of Vaishnavas, I am the servant of the society, I am everybody's servant. There is nobody who is my servant. Only if we in this mode, actually, people will become happy with us. We will become happy to deal with people, because if we have any expectation in this world from anybody, that how can that expectation comes? Because I'm thinking I'm the master. And please understand this concept. It's a very, see, that is why Prabhupada, some statements take us years to realize what Prabhupada is saying. The depth of the statements are fathomless. It takes us many times years, and that is why we should keep reading Bhagavatam, because next time we are reading the same line, some new realization will dawn on us. Over and above this, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is a personal commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Vyasadeva. Personal commentation, why he only gave us Vedanta Sutra. So now he is writing a natural commentary on that. It was written in the maturity of his spiritual life through the mercy of Sri Narada. Vyasadeva is the authorized incarnation of Narayana. So he is a Shaktyavesha avatar. Therefore, there is no question as to his authority. He is the author of all Vedic literatures. Yet he recommends the study of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam above all others. In other Puranas, there are different methods set forth by which one can worship the demigods. But in the Bhagavatam, only the Supreme Lord is mentioned. That is why this is Amala Purana. Amala, pure. There's nothing else. The Supreme Lord is the total body, and the demigods are the different parts of that body. Consequently, by worshipping the Supreme Lord, one does not need to worship the demigods. The Supreme Lord becomes fixed in the heart of the devotee immediately. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended Śrīmad Bhagavatam as the spotless Purana. Okay. The proper method for receiving this transcendental message is to hear it submissively. A challenging attitude cannot help us to realize this transcendental message. One particular word used herein for proper is used herein for proper guidance. This word is shu. One must be anxious to hear, and the desire to sincerely hear is the first quality. Less fortunate persons are not at all interested in hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. This is very unfortunate. So many places we try to, do these Bhagavatam classes regularly. Initially, some people are come, then they go away because they're not fortunate. Just this class also, we started 25 people, now 20 people. Because this is For many people, they don't have the fortune to hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And it's very easy to make it story. But these purports are the ones which change our life. So some of these purports I will be reading, not for all verses. Where there are very powerful purports, I will be reading the purports. This process is simple, but the application is difficult. See, this is very, that is why I said, like every line Prabhupada says, process is simple. Susukam, process is simple. Okay, just do A, B, C, D, that's all. But application is difficult. Why application is difficult? When we hear something, Krishna is saying, okay, give up sense gratification. Don't eat non-prasadam. Get up in the morning. Do this, do that. Oh, it all looks very simple, but application is very difficult. Unfortunate people find enough time to hear idle social and political conversations. But when invited to attend meeting of devotees to hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, they suddenly become reluctant. Sometimes professional readers of Bhagavatam immediately plunge into the confidential topics of the pastimes of Supreme Lord, which they seemingly interpret as sex literature. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is meant to be heard from the beginning. Those who are fit to assimilate this work are mentioned in this shloka. One becomes qualified to hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam after many pious deeds. The intelligent person, with thoughtful discretion, please hear this sentence. Intelligent person with thoughtful discretion can be assured by the great sage Vyasadeva that he can realize the Supreme Personality directly by hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So as we are hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, what should we do? We should be intelligent and we should have thoughtful discretion. What does thoughtful discretion means? First is we have to be thoughtful. When we are hearing something, we have to think about it. And discretion is determining right from the wrong. So we should have thoughtful discretion. It's not that we just close our brains, our intelligence, everything. Somebody was saying, oh, initiation means I just surrender my intelligence to Guru, which is true. But Guru also says Guru Sadhu Shastra. So if our discretion is sleeping, then we can't really make out what is right, what is wrong. So we cannot just give up discretion. Discretion has to remain throughout spiritual life. Not just till we choose or we become, initiated by a guru. No. That is why Srila Narottama Das Thakur says Guru Shastra, Guru Sadhu Shastra. Guru Sadhu Shastra, all three. So which means discretion has to continue throughout our life. Without undergoing the different stages of realization set forth in the Vedas, one can be lifted immediately to the position of Paramahamsa simply by agreeing to receive this message. So this is the secret. So Prabhupada in this verse, Vyasadeva is saying that this Bhagavatam is for people who are already pure in heart. But we are not pure in heart. So what Prabhupada is saying, it is okay as long as you simply agree to receive the message. If we simply agree to receive message, we will be immediately lifted to the position of Paramahamsa. So please understand this. We should have been a Paramahamsa to come to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. But we are not Paramahamsa. But by simply agreeing to receive this message that I want to hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, we are lifted. Lifted means what? Not by our ability. Somebody lifts us immediately to the position of Paramahamsas. So this somebody can be seen as Srila Prabhupada, mercy of Srila Prabhupada, our previous Acharyas, Shukadeva Goswami, Vyasadeva, Narada Muni, Vyasadeva, all of them. Just because we have a desire to hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, they lift us to the stage of Paramahamsa, which means what? The heart will start becoming cleansed. But for this, we will hear further, Narada Muni's life. We should have intense desire to hear. Intense desire to hear. When we have intense desire to hear, then all the kachara will go out. Super fast cleaning will happen. So this is the beauty. So basically, Bhagavatam is for those who are not interested in Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Simple. To put in blunt words, that if we are interested in Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, we cannot enter into Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We might hear. We cannot enter into the mood of Bhagavatam. Lord will not become established within our heart, which is very quickly happens when we enter Śrīmad Bhāgavatam with this mood of not running behind Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay, so I will stop here because I can't start the next verse. The next verse is beautiful. I mean, you know, so what I'll do is quickly, I will just talk about Kartik Mas, because you know it's there coming up, and tomorrow we'll discuss this rasa. Beautiful. This is, you know, for me the favorite. It's it just gives us a real, you know, entry into how we should hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. It's full of rasa, full of rasa. Mm. Um, so yeah, so just on since, you know, auspicious month of Kartik, starting from tomorrow. So all of us should do Kartik Vrata, Damodar Vrata. So this Vrata is very simple. Is to offer ghee lamp every day to Lord Damodar, along with singing Shri Damodar Astakam. So we'll post the Damodar Astakam. Of course, you all have access to Damodar Astakam. Sing the Damodar Astakam. Meditate on the meaning of Damodar Astakam. Actually, maybe next week I will do that. One of these classes, we will Saturday or Sunday we will sing Damodar Astakam, and we will meditate on the meaning of the. It's beautiful, Damodar Astakam. Um, so that also we will do periodically in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Shravanam. If there are any important festivals, etc., we will try to cover those relevant Shravanam material. So do this vrata. One is offering ghee lamp to Lord Damodar. So some details. So you can offer if you have a, you know, silver diya, gold diya, whatever you have, or it can also be made of earth. That is what is called earth, means mitti. So you can offer, but it has to be ghee lamp. The wick or batti has to be ghee offer to Krishna. One person offers, another person in the house should offer another. Not that everybody uses the same diya. And if you want to use the same diya tomorrow, not the wick, the batti, anyway, we will discard it as nirmalya, but hante we call it, right? Or I don't know what it is called in English, right? The diya. So you should wash it and use it. Otherwise, better to use new ones if that is fine. But you have nicely decorated it, etc., etc. You will have to see how to. We can't use unclean diya again. So better to use simple diya, which you can just get rid of, and then you offer a new one. Now, apart from this, so we should do some austerities in Kartik, because it's so glorious a month, most Krishna's favorite month, gives us multi-time benefits for all activities of bhakti that we do. So two things I kind of my own recommendation or suggestion. One is raise your sadhana. Right? So those who are not doing 16 rounds, please do 16 rounds. Those who are doing 16 rounds, you can add, say, 2 more rounds or whatever based on your schedule, but do something. If you have not been reading consistently, say, okay, in Kartik month, I'm going to read for half an hour at least every day. So do pick up some aspect of your sadhana which you're struggling, or with getting up early, you know, do the vrata to get up early. Do something so that, you know, I offer it with love to Krishna. That is one. Now, the second most important part is what are we doing for others? Well-wishers, devotees are well-wishers. So these well-wishers means that we should not be swarthis, not be self-centered. It's not about my own sadhana. It's not about my own spiritual life, because Prabhupada is in the mood of Prahlad Maharaj, and their whole focus is paropakar. And how do I help others? How do I give this benefit to others? So please engage in inviting friends, family, neighbors, etc. Have a simple program in your house. You don't have to give a big class or anything. If you can give a class, give on Damodar Leela. Otherwise, simply let them, you know, using Damodar Astakam, let them offer diya. Then, you know, give them prasadam. Take their contacts if they're interested in any class, and you can connect them to us wherever you are. We are having classes in Hindi, Kannada, English, and Krishna willing soon, maybe I'm hoping to start Telugu whenever that happens. So we will attempt whatever Krishna gives, you know, ability, we will engage. But in this month, you should go out and give this mercy. Give this mercy to other people. Mm. Uh, it can be like we are planning in one of our preaching areas, Ulimau. we are trying to do at least 3 programs a week, at least 3. So we're going to temples, we're going to temple simple, like, just keep a photo, offer diya, give prasadam, take contacts, and that's it. Right? Then house programs where devotees are calling their relatives, friends, etc. Third is, if you have something like a omni or a ego, right? Open the rear dicky door, keep Lord, of course, beg for forgiveness, saying that not ideal, not very ideal, perfect way of worshipping, but keep Damodar, and then call anybody, go to the market, call people, put, have a speaker, put Prabhupada Dhun, Kirtan, let it go on, let you call people, let them offer, give them prasadam, take contacts if they're interested, outreach. So give others mercy. This is the beauty about bhakti. The more mercy we give others, the more mercy we get. Material life, 10 rupees I have in my pocket. If I give out 5 rupees, I am left with 5 rupees. But in Krishna consciousness, if I have so much bhakti, and if I give some part of it, then it suddenly increases. And this is what Prabhupada has taught us. Prabhupada, at the age of 70, went out to benefit the whole world. I mean, if he had not gone, what would have been our state? So we are here only because of his mercy. And he showed his mercy by just going out and doing it for the whole world. So how much ever possible. And see, always we should never think, oh, I'm not a preacher. We don't have to preach. We just give them mercy. Let them offer a ghee lamp. Then tell them saying, please do this in your house for the rest of the month. Right? So you've given great mercy because that person will come to bhakti. Whoever does this for Krishna in Kartik month will come to bhakti. In Jayavadharma, actually, Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, actually, this is we creating their sukruti. We creating sukruti for them to come into bhakti. By simply just calling them off the road saying that please come and offer ghee lamp. That's it, simple. Those people who don't even have the sukruti to come to bhakti, they can be given sukruti to come to bhakti by just these kind of activities. So please do. This is so auspicious, and Krishna will be extremely pleased with those who are trying to put effort. So our Hulimau devotees are really like, they're all in full enthusiastically. We have some 7 programs lined up, and it's just the beginning of the month. We will do till 15 days after our Kartik ends, which means the Smarta Kartik Mass is 15 days more. So we'll actually end up doing 1.5 months of Kartik. So we just keep doing outreach as many programs as possible. Now, wherever you are, if you need any help from our side, let us know. We are happy to, already like Sita Mataji set up some program. Apart from Hulimau, we have 6-7 programs. Sita Mataji's house, we are doing one program. So you let us know wherever, if you have to come, we can help you do that. Or if you have the machinery, you please go ahead and do. But please do something in Kartik for pleasure of the Lord, right? And like I said, individual sadhana is nice. Krishna will be pleased. But when we do paropakar, he is more happy. He's more. So yeah, he said that I'm just not much into vrata and all that. Just remember, it's Krishna's favorite month. So how much ever we can do for him, he'll be happy, and then thereby we will be happy. Krishna is happy, we are happy. So yeah, this is about glories of Kartik month, and next week we will hear about Damodar Astakam specifically. We will do Damodar Astakam. Maybe let Kartik start. Next Sunday we can do Damodar Astakam. Okay, so I'll stop here. Unless if anybody has any questions, you can please ask. Grantharaj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada.